DPU academic project of the School of Architecture. In order to explain the formative model of the DPU School of Architecture, I'll start by developing a timeline with the purpose of giving some context to the country's development. With regard to the teaching of this discipline, I will also list some milestones that have accompanied this process. Secondly, I'll detail the current condition of the events, describe the challenges, and explain the expected profile of the architect from DPU and how we intend to achieve it. 1982. Diego Portales University is funded by way of new legislation that allows for the creation of non-profit private universities, given that the model also establishes the liberalization of teaching as way to lessen power from traditional universities and increase teaching scope. The university market begins, and thus private universities belonging to businesses that permitted capital proliferation increase. DPU is initially based on an ancient stately home located on 260 Ejército Street. The schools of psychology, law, and finance located in the southwestern area of the district of Santiago are its first faculties. In spite of its central location, this is a depreciated area with a high vacancy rate and great chances to find real estate at convenient prices. 1999. The School of Architecture, Art and Design, FAAD, is created. Hernán Garfias was its first dean. This school is located on 180 República Street, just a few blocks away from the foundational property. The architect Gustavo Munizaga was the first head of the School of Architecture. He designs the first curriculum, and by the following year, 47 students register for this degree. 1 year later, Matías Klotz became the head of the School of Architecture. 2004. DPU increases its offer, and thus more infrastructure is required. During this process, the school takes on an active role, since its professors develop the projects for all the new facilities. This allows the transferring of the academic discourse of the university's location to a heritage area, which significantly contributes to the university's prestige by consolidating a united academic body around a far-reaching and common project. During the same year, Matías Klotz assumes responsibility as the FAAD Dean and appoints Ricardo Aguaguad as the new head of the School of Architecture. 2005. The so-called Penguin Revolution breaks out, in which high school students take over the streets demanding for better education. Under Ricardo Aguaguad's administration, renovation and expansion of the building located on 180 República Street is carried out. During the same year, the school starts its classes, that is, it teaches all the subjects included in the curriculum, and the first generation of students begin processes to obtain their professional degrees. 2006. The first students obtain their professional degrees, as the School of Art initiates activities, becoming FAAD's third-degree program. This program completes a creative triad, offering significant possibilities of interdisciplinary relations. 2011. Camila Vallejo leads a new student movement demanding free and top-quality university education for everybody breaks out. Other social conflicts add to this student movement, and the street becomes the stage for public discontent. This questions not only the economic model, but also the institutional framework imposed by the dictatorship and managed for over 20 years by the democratic governments. During the same year, and in order to diminish the overcrowding at schools and become the main link with DPU, the Nicanor Parra Library is opened. Matías Klotz is in charge of this project. 2013. The Huechuraba campus, including the new School of Economy, is opened. This was the first project awarded by a tendering process and carried out by professors Gabriela Mansi, Rodrigo Duque, and Rafael Evia, and a group of graduates that worked as contributors. Regarding the training of architects for Chile, our school is aware of the particular moment that architecture has been facing during the last decade in our country, period in which this body was formed and developed. There has undoubtedly been a significant boom with the quality and diversity of the works, and in the prestige and national and international dissemination reached by them and their authors. Along with this process, Chile has experienced an accelerated growth and change. This has resulted in more wealth, but also in a questioning to the way in which this process is carried out, both in terms of cost and in the extent to which it affects population. Chile currently faces a crisis in terms of social integration and a shared vision of a project country. Something similar occurs with architecture itself. It has become essential to recognize that the prestige of Chilean architecture, at least until the end of the last decade, has mainly been based on projects geared towards a private demand, with limited social commitment and with a short vision of the role that this discipline plays in the construction of a more equitable, fair, and inclusive country. All of this, which has been highlighted by many external observers, was naturally related to the country's conditions, but also to the type of training architects received, and therefore the available possibilities for execution. What is a student we wish to educate like, and how do we intend to achieve it? Facing the question asked by the 28th Architecture Biennial, what are the architects we wish to educate like? The school's proposal, based on a comprehension of the challenges country that the OECD's Better Life Index indicators meant for future architects. They precisely enabled the exploration of these new possibilities discussed before, which open up the field for architects committed to a common project. In this sense, the School of Architecture assumes on its own the challenge of contributing to the country with architects committed to an inclusive and diverse vision of society, committed to the sustainable development and the common good. This certainly has been present since the foundation of the unit, among other things, in the important role that it has played in the construction of its nearest environment, the university neighborhood, and after this action, in the opening of these concerns toward the public sphere, first the district of Santiago, and later the city, the country, the territory, life quality, and the active participation in this discussion, and the promulgation of new National Policy of Urban Development 2013, recently promulgated by the President of Chile. It is in this issue that one of the guidances of the faculty to which the school belongs intervenes, the one concerning the exploration of interdisciplinary niches and links, especially with other units in the faculty. This purpose aims to motivate the academic community to constitute mixed groups that reproduce within the university the intersectoral complexity of the professional work by architects. The above-mentioned diversity has existed not only in the School of Architecture. To better explore its potential, it has been channeled in faculty units, like in the case of the External Services Unit and the City and Territory Laboratory. Finally, the mentioned expanded field and widened vision involve a significant opening to the international scenario as well. This feature, which has characterized the work of the unit since its foundation, involves a progressive commitment of a more significant proportion of the community, while being institutionalized not only as a complementary experience, but also as a key part of the academic project. The School of Architecture, Art and Design, FAAD, is currently made up of 3 pre-degree programs: Architecture, Art and Design, and a master's degree program. Besides, it is complemented by 3 linking units: the City and Territory Laboratory, LCT, the External Services Unit, USE, and the Creativity and Innovation Laboratory, LCI, by an audiovisual research program, PIA, Archive Image Time City, and an editorial project which main product is Magazine 180. Our student population consists of a total of 1,350 students in these 3 programs. Out of these, 523 students correspond to the architecture school, 727 students to the design program, and 150 students to art. Our master's degree program has 35 students. Out of these, 40% of the students are external, and 60% of the students continued their studies in our university.